Welcome to day 3 of Tea with the Shepherd in Philippians 1. So let's finish off this chapter today. We're picking up where we left off, and because of this I rejoice. Yes, I will continue to rejoice at the end of 18. For I know that through your prayers and the help given by the Spirit of Jesus Christ, what has happened to me will turn out for my deliverance. I eagerly expect and hope that I will in no way be ashamed, but will have sufficient courage so that now as always Christ will be exalted in my body, whether by life or by death. For to me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. Now in this time, just to give a little bit more understanding of why he's saying what he is, there's different ways of imprisonment, and one was house arrest, and the other one, which is likely to be the case for this one, is that he could have been under military guard where they are chained to a soldier. Now, in the letters of that particular century and correspondence that we understand that took place historically during this time, when one was chained to a soldier, they were described as wild beasts that became even more intolerable and way worse when they were treated well. So whether or not Paul was under house arrest or he was in this where he was chained up to a soldier, it was not the best of situations. In fact, when you were in prison, you didn't have things provided for you. Food wasn't provided, your necessities, bedding, nothing was provided. So whatever you needed, you had to provide, and they would allow money in the prison because that's how they had to pay for whatever they needed. So the fact that the Philippians were sending things, whether it was food or it was pillows or blankets or whatever Paul was needing, it was coming from these churches. That's the only way he had any sort of comforts or needs met. And then also in this where he's talking about what has happened to me will turn out for my deliverance. This is also is verbatim word for word citation of the Greek version of Job 13:16. So he's saying that it's not by my iniquity that I am here in prison and that I'm led into suffering. And that's where his reference is there, why he says that. But also, the other aspect of imprisonment in this Roman society is that when you were imprisoned, it was extremely shameful. Many of these that were in prison would even hide their faces when they were being moved from one place to another or taken to the prison. They would hide their faces out of shame because of the fact that it was so dishonorable to be imprisoned that you didn't want to even be known. You didn't want anybody to know that you were in prison. It was a complete public dishonor. And because of that, we know in 2 Timothy 1:16 through 17, there were some that were embarrassed by Paul because of the fact that he had been in prison. So they were ashamed of him because of the public dishonor. So they were embarrassed. They were ashamed of him. Well, so that is why Paul is saying here that I eagerly expect and hope that I will in no way be ashamed, but I will have sufficient courage so that now as always Christ will be exalted in my body, whether by life or by death. So he is also saying, I don't want to feel shame for the fact that I am in prison for Christ. For to die is Christ, to live is Christ. No matter what, to live is Christ and to die is gain. So verse 22, if I am to go on living in the body, this will mean fruitful labor for me. Yet what shall I choose? I do not know. I am torn between the two. I desire to depart and be with Christ. So he's saying, which one should I choose? If I had to choose, should I choose life? Should I choose death? If I die, then I depart and I'm with Christ. And that is which is better by far, he says. In 24, but it is more necessary for you that I remain in the body. Convinced of this, I know that I will remain, and I will continue with all of you for your progress and joy. Again, he talks about joy in the faith, so that through my being with you again, your joy in Christ Jesus will overflow on account of me. Whatever happens, conduct yourselves in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ. Then, whether I come and see you or only hear about you in my absence, I will know that you stand firm in one spirit, contending as one man. He goes back to this unity. He harps on unity so much. For the faith of the gospel, without being frightened in any way by those who oppose you. So stand strong, be courageous, be fearless. Don't back down. Don't be ashamed. This is a sign to them that they will be destroyed, but that you will be saved. So by your testimony, by your courage, you know that you're going to be saved. But it will be those that do not that will be destroyed. And it is a testimony of that. And that, but you will be saved, and that by God. For it has been granted to you on behalf of Christ not only to believe on him, but also to suffer for him, since you are going through the same struggle you saw I had, and now hear that I still have. So their church is being persecuted. They're going through some tough times. Even in the middle of that, they're still blessing Paul. They're still praying for him. They're still supporting him. They're sending gifts. Their heart is filled with joy for him, and they're not ashamed of him. So therefore, he's having the strength and the courage to also not be ashamed. And he's pleased that these Philippians are being that awesome support system that he's needing in this time. So we will pick up tomorrow in chapter 2.